Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another unconventional cut file usage video, as well as a off-the-board video. And that is where we take our Pinterest pins and use them as inspiration. And so the pin that I'm using today is this particular pin of a dinosaur head, which reminded me oddly of this weird cut file that I have. And so I decided to go ahead and use that cut file. I'm going to spray it, and at this point I think I'm going to be using the background, but that's not what ends up happening. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that, guys. So I am spraying it thinking I'm going to use the back piece, and so I'm just using these two different brown sprays of Mr. Huey's. I don't think these are even available anymore. They're super old. And so I also add a little bit of Dylusions chopped pesto and excuse me, a little bit of Dylusions shimmer spray in melted chocolate and in desert sand. And so giving that some good coverage. And so I think I'm going to use that bottom piece there, but I end up using both pieces. So I also was inspired to pull out some Dinosaur wood veneer pieces, and then that I got over at MK's Etsy store, some assemblage required, so the link will be down below for that. And I created my own little cut file here that just says Dinosaur, and then I decided I'm not going to waste that background piece. I'm going to spray it some more with a few more colors, some more chopped pesto, excuse me, some media gloss spray from Dina Wakley, some oxide spray in gathered twig. The media gloss, I'm going to use some lime green, and I think I end up using a couple other greens, but I'm going to use those to back the cut file. So I know it looks like a big hot mess at this point in time, but it is going to come out just fine. So I'm throwing this back on my mat so that I can cut the inside of the letters. I used the offset tool to go ahead and make them just a little bit larger than what the inside of each letter is supposed to be, so that it will be easy to back them. Now I did have to tape my paper down because it is full of mixed media. It was very crinkly and did not want to stay, so I just used some blue tape to tape it around the edges. When I created this cut file, the inside of the D, I did not get that correct to for the piece that goes inside, so I do have to fussy cut that a little bit, but it's not a big deal. It saved most of the cutting. What you didn't see off camera was that I used the media gloss spray in lime and sprayed a bunch more of that, so it's got kind of this green scaly look to it, and I really like how it looks. I don't know, it pops off the page more because it's more green than brown, whereas the cut file that I'm going to be using is brown. So I'm liking the way that that's looking, and these letters are going on very well. No problems. I kind of waited to do the D last because I wasn't sure if I was going to cut the center out of it once it was already in the cut file or before I put it in the cut file. So I was like, I'll just do all the letters first and save that D to last because I know I'm going to have to fussy cut the inside of it. And I didn't want to deal with it at the time. I was like, let me get the part done that I know is going to work, and then think about, do I want to recut it and fix it on the computer, or do I just want to fussy cut it? I ended up just fussy cutting it. It wasn't a big deal, but it did save me quite a bit of time by doing the offset feature in the Silhouette Studio. And what I really need to do is practice that a little bit more, and so I know it would be even faster if I do it in the correct order. So yeah, that would make it so much faster to back cut files. Anyway, so there is the letter D all cut properly, and now I'm going to go ahead and place that inside as well, or behind the cut file. I shouldn't say inside, it's actually behind. And then I'm going to put the outline for the center of the D right over the top, and it looks like it was supposed to be that way, which you know, it really was supposed to be that way. It just didn't work out. I had to do it manually. So there is my brown cut file, and yes, I'm going to use it on black paper. I couldn't decide. I went back and forth over using it on white versus black. I have these two photos of Noah and my daughter at in Santa Barbara. They're at, I don't know if this is at the Santa Barbara Zoo or what, but it was the day they went to the zoo, so I suspect it was at the zoo. But it's this whole dinosaur experience thing, and the dinosaurs roar and all kinds of stuff. So now I took my black paper and I threw some more of the lime media gloss spray from Dina Wakley on it, just splattering it right over the top. And then I'm going to also do the same with some of the other colors that I had going on there. I think that was actually media gloss in aloe that I was using. It was either aloe or sage. So I had a couple of different greens there. And then I used some gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So then I couldn't decide if I liked the sprinkles better or without the splatter, and I ended up going with the splatter. And I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and get that all set up so that I can figure out the placement of the wood veneer dinosaurs. These wood veneer dinosaurs come in 2 different packs, and I was bound and determined to use all 8 of them on one layout. And I don't know why I decided, I'm like, I need to use them all on one layout, because yeah, I definitely could have saved them for another layout, but I don't know, I just was like, they need to all go together because they are just too cute. So we will see how that works out for me. I originally had thought I would place the layout so that the cut file was more vertical, but I actually like it a lot better more horizontal. So that's the orientation that I decided to go with. And then I am popping up the title onto some foam tape because those dinosaurs are on wood veneer, and so they are already thick, and I want to be able to tuck not really tuck them under the title, but I don't want them on top of the title. I want them all the same height. I sprayed a little bit more of this cut file with some more green. You can see the 2 green bottles up at the top of the screen. The bright one is called lime. The other one is, I believe, sage. And those are Dina Wakley Media Gloss. I'm using this paper to go ahead and back my cut files. Not my cut files, my photos. And I'm using it as a photo map. And so we will, I'll have a little bit more of a frame around them. I am going to trim the bottoms of the photos off so that they tuck in. I probably should have done that before I glued everything down, but I wasn't exactly sure of the placement, so I'm going to have to kind of trim them down so they look like they are tucked in just a bit more than they actually are. I am keeping those at the same height, so they are not backed with any foam tape or anything, because the cut file is not backed with any foam tape or anything like that. So I want to make sure that those, since they're tucked under, they're not looking like they are popped up at all. And I did have to cut the cut file just a little bit there to tuck this other one in, and that's okay. I don't mind that. I kind of like it. This cut file has all those little weird pieces kind of jutting out from it anyway, so I think it looks just fine. I'm just using my acrylic blocks to kind of hold those in place while I figure out what I am doing next. I decide that I'm going to go ahead and place the cut file down, or the title, not the cut file. Well, it is a cut file too, but I'm going to place the title down and then figure out where all of these little guys are going to go. I'm not entirely sure this is a really unconventional way to use a cut file, but I was really not going to use this part of it. I was going to use the other part. So I guess in theory, it really is an unconventional way, because I'm using the cut file twice. I used it as a stencil. I used it on the paper that I used to back my photos, and to create that dinosaur title. And then I'm going to go and cut a bunch of leaves out of it. So I used the cut file to create some of the texture on this background paper, and then I used the actual cut file on my background. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to go ahead and put these all in, lined up on top of this piece of green paper, and I'm going to run them through my Sizzix switch and pop them back out. This is a lot faster than just doing them one at a time. I don't mind doing them one at a time, and that is normally what I would do, but now I have my switch is set up right next to me, and I can just run them through really easily. It makes it a lot faster and a lot easier. I still use my little sidekick for any of my small dies that I'm using just a little one-off here and there. But when I'm doing a whole batch of stuff, this is definitely easier. I don't make you sit through the entire process of me cutting out leaves because it does take a while. But I will tell you that the leaves that I am using right here are all from Altenew. Actually, the two bottom ones on the plate right there are from Elizabeth Craft Designs. And they are from her summer journal kit. I'll put a link down below if I can find that for you. But all of the other leaves are from Altenew, and they are their leaf die set and their tropical leaf die set. And I'll put links down below for those as well. So I really like the mix of the two or the three sets because you get all kinds of different leaves, and your foliage looks really more natural than if they were all just like the same leaf. And so I think it looks really kind of cool. I really like the pattern that the background paper kind of lends itself to. It's really prominent on a couple of those leaves, and I think it looks really cool with the lights and the darks. It looks very jungly, or I don't know that jungly is a word, but it looks very jungle-like, and it makes me happy. So I'm just figuring out where I want to place those leaves and where the dinosaurs are going to go so that they look most natural, and it doesn't look, I don't know, it doesn't look like all my dinosaurs are lined up, because like I said, I'm trying to get all 8 of them on here, and you definitely could have done this layout with less of the dinosaurs, like if you only wanted to purchase one pack, but you know, I had to have them all, so I think it came out really cute at the end of the day. So I'm just going to add the leaves down with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm also going to adhere those dinosaurs down with some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and because the wood is a bit porous, it will hold those no problem. I do worry about using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive just to hold like my acrylic down, because that's not a porous substance by any stretch of the imagination. But with the wood veneer, don't feel like it's going to come off the page or anything like that. But you certainly could use like glue dots if that is something that would concern you more. So making sure all of my leaves are stuck down, and then adding my dinosaurs. And as you can see here, not all of the dinosaurs are backed with leaves, and I think that makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, more realistic, or realistic. I mean, it's a layout. They don't look like realistic dinosaurs anyway. But it looks more natural, I guess, without going over the top of and having leaves behind every single grouping. I think it would have been overkill. So I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I did feel like the dinosaurs that are not on leaf bundles, they did need to kind of have some support under them, so they do look like their feet are on top of one of the cut file pieces, with the exception of that pterodactyl that is flying. He doesn't need to be touching anything because he's a flyer, but lo and behold, he is still touching the cut file. This is just the things that my brain comes up with as I am working on a layout. I don't know. Do any of you guys think like that too? So that is, let's see here, pretty close to being done here. I don't add a whole lot more. There will be some journaling probably in the black space right below the bottom photo there, maybe across the bottom of the entire cut file, just so that we can add a little bit of information about the day. There are a lot of layouts for this particular day because it was a whole day at the zoo, and so I don't feel like there needs to be a huge amount of journaling. There is going to be at least one more layout for this particular day as well. Don't forget to check out everyone else who is playing along with Off the Board and MK's video for today's cut files. I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye-bye.